Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 13 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Today we are going to talk about how to use SMART goals as a framework for growth. How can we use setting goals that follow the specific, measurable, achievable, I can't even read backwards, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. How can we use those criteria to set and up our goals in an area that we want to grow in order to help us grow in all the other areas and aspects of our life. We're looking at a bunch of different frameworks right now around the topic of growing and growth and personal growth and development, professional growth and development, financial, relationships, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, health in all the areas and aspects of our life, plus improving skills like communication and confidence. So how can we use the SMART framework in order to make this happen? And we're looking at different frameworks. We've looked at mindfulness, we've looked at Kaizen, we've looked at, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday we looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how we could use that as a framework for assessing our needs and then growing in the different areas that we want to grow in order to achieve what it is that we want. Okay, so we have talked about SMART goals a lot. There's so much information on SMART goals, how to set them, how to frame them. But it's basically we've got a goal, we've got something we want, right? We know where we are, we know what we want. And we take the thing that we want and we set a goal to move us toward that thing that we want. I personally believe that I need to set big, hairy, audacious goals, which we talked about last year, in that it is a super huge stretch, but if I could achieve it, it would make me happier than anything. It's what I really, really want. Instead of setting, a lot of people will have us set small goals and achievable goals so that we get them all the time, which, part of this formula is achievable. That's awesome. Guess what happens? I don't know about you, but when I achieve a goal, or not even when I achieve it, when I'm close to knowing I'm going to get it no matter what, I get demotivated. And it doesn't drive me forward anymore in terms of making progress and growth in different areas and aspects of my life. So I've learned that I have to have huge, big, hairy, audacious goals that I break down into annual projects and annual goals to keep me moving toward that big vision of what I want for my life, so that I'm always motivated to progress and continually improve and drive myself forward. Some people just want to achieve smaller goals. So we have to figure out what works for us. But I do, and we did this at least a dozen times last year when we did the Get Your Goals annual challenge. Every month we covered and used the SMART framework. So there's lots of examples in the Get Up and Go Challenge private Facebook group page. If you need more examples of this, you can also just Google it, SMART goals. You can get a ton of information on it. There's, of course, a write-up in Guide 2 of the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page that you're welcome to join for supplemental information. And I think we did, not Tina's story today. I didn't write it down. I can't remember whose story we did today. I want to say Emily's story, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's a story, there's a write-up in Guide 2, and then there's the videos in Guide 1. So you can always go back if you miss a day or something. I say don't miss a day, because we do one thing every day to move us toward what we want. Guess what? Before we know it, we've got what we want, and we're moving on to the next thing. But today our action item is just to take one area you want to grow in and set it up and write it down in the framework of specific goal, measurable goal, achievable, or stretch, whatever works for you. I use stretch goals on a short-term basis to keep me moving forward and that are achievable. I know they're achievable because I believe we can create and do and be and have and get whatever it is that we want if we believe that we can. We'll just keep going until we get it. Is it relevant? Is it something that's important? Do I need to grow in this area? If I don't need to grow in my financial area, that's not going to be the one I pick to set this up, because we're just practicing right now. We're going to go through all these areas and aspects of our life this year. We've got a whole year. We're going to do a little thing every day to grow in all the areas and aspects of our life. But today we're just talking about different frameworks that we can use for growth. And by the end of this month, we will have selected and created our own specific framework that we're going to use throughout the rest of the year in order to help us grow in every area and aspect of our life. And we'll apply it to each one of the areas. We'll spend a whole month on each area again, just like we did with goals last year. We'll spend a whole month working on topics around the area of physical well-being, physical health, physical growth. What does that mean to us, etc. And I think that format works really well. If got some feedback from me on that and you don't like it, hit me up. And then time bound. I say time bound is always the end of this year at a minimum, but you can set it for sooner if you want. All right, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Take one area you want to grow in and just use that framework and see how it applies to setting a goal for that area of growth in your life. Any questions? Ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.